The slap looked simple, but it sent a surge of powerful core energy into his head. It shot through his body's energy channels like a lit fuse, causing several major ones to burst. With his energy channels destroyed, all his skills were gone. The man in white screamed in agony, completely shocked. To have that kind of hidden core strength was unbelievable. He couldn't even begin to understand Charlie's power. Not even the #1 fighter in the National Martial Arts Alliance, the champion of the whole Southlight District, had skill this strong. And Charlie's power seemed to be even greater than that. Where did this guy come from? He and his brother hadn't come here to kill anyone. They had come here to die. Just then, Charlie landed another crippling blow, and the man's body went limp. His limbs were useless, leaving him just barely clinging to life. After the hit, Charlie looked down at the man in white. His eyes were cold and piercing as he asked in a chilling voice, "Tell me, who hired you to kill Elsa?" The man's face was ashen. He was completely broken. For a fighter like him, this was a fate worse than death. His spirit was crushed. He said desperately, "Just kill me. Let me die with some dignity." Charlie said coldly, "Dignity? You don't deserve any. If you don't tell me who's behind this, I'll destroy every last one of your energy channels. You won't even be able to blink for the rest of your life. Then, I'll hand you over to the police. You look like a wanted man, and I could probably collect a nice reward. After that, I'll let you rot in a prison cell for the rest of your life." The man in white looked terrified. "My skills were no match for yours. I deserve to die. I'm just asking you to make it quick." Charlie nodded. "Tell me, and I'll make it quick." The man hesitated for a second, then blurted out, "The one who hired us is Elsa's cousin. We were supposed to kill her here in Oris Hill to stop her from going back home alive." Charlie nodded slightly. "If that's the case, then you can have your wish." With that, Charlie used a specific technique, and the man in white went silent forever. Elsa was shocked when she heard them. Her own cousin wanted to kill her? Did something happen back home? He didn't want her to make it back to Eastcliff alive? How could anyone be so cruel? Just then, Irvin crawled out from under the car. He noticed the stone Elsa had dropped on the ground earlier. He quickly picked it up, but as he went to hand it to her, he stopped, surprised. "Miss, isn't this the stone of peace and wealth? How did you get it?" Elsa was shocked. "You know what this is?" she asked. Irvin scratched his head and grinned. "I sold this stone to Mr. Wade. Later he came to me saying he'd lost it and asked if I had another one. But there's only one like it in the entire world. It's completely unique." Elsa couldn't believe it. It felt like something had burst inside her chest. Irvin's words echoed in her mind. She murmured, "So this stone, it's the only one in the world?" "The one and only," Irvin said with certainty. "There are no two identical leaves in the world, and there can't be two identical stones. I recognize this charm. It's definitely the one." Speaking of which, Irvin sighed. "It's a shame. I've never been able to find another one like it for Mr. Wade since then." Mr. Wade? He'd kept this from her for so long. The man who saved her, the dream lover she had been fantasizing about for so long. It was him. She had fallen in love with her best friend's husband, Charlie. She was so overwhelmed that she burst into tears. She couldn't help but ask God, "Is there anything more ironic than this in the entire world?" At that moment, Elsa felt like she'd been struck by lightning. She looked at Charlie, who had a murderous look in his eyes, and her heart pounded with fear. At the same time, she was immediately thrown into an impossible, conflicted situation. Charlie had no idea that Elsa had recognized him. After dealing with the Oliver Vincent brothers, a sneer lingered on his lips. They had a name that sounded like it came from a martial arts movie, but in the end, they were just a couple of dead dogs. However, Irvin was looking on in terror. The Oliver Vincent brothers had run wild for years, killing countless people, and had never lost a fight. They terrorized all of Oris Hill. But for two guys that strong to be taken down by Charlie in just 2 moves, it was something he couldn't believe. Doesn't that mean Mr. Wade's strength puts him at the top of Oris Hill? Just then, Charlie glanced at the 2 bodies that were growing cold. He turned his head and saw Elsa's dazed expression. He reminded her seriously, "Elsa, since your cousin hired them to kill you, I suggest you be extra careful for the next few days. It would be smart to hire a bodyguard, just to be prepared." Elsa looked at Charlie with a very complicated expression. After a moment, she steadied her breathing, bit her lip, and whispered, "But I don't know how I'd find a suitable bodyguard on such short notice." Right now, Elsa was struggling with a storm of conflicting thoughts. First, her own family, her cousin, wanted her dead, and then the mysterious man she'd fallen for turned out to be her best friend's husband. Both of these things were torture for her, making her feel completely miserable and helpless. Claire had no idea that her best friend was in love with her husband. She stepped forward and hugged Elsa gently, patting her on the shoulder. "Elsa, don't worry too much," she comforted her. "Since Charlie is such a good fighter, even the famous Oliver Vincent were no match for him. You can ask him to protect you. Just be careful, and if you ever feel unsafe when you go out, you can call him anytime and he'll protect you." To Claire, it was simple. Since her husband had this ability, it was only natural for him to protect her best friend. But what Claire didn't know was that her best friend was in love with her husband. Elsa, who had been feeling so conflicted, suddenly felt a rush of joy when she heard Claire's suggestion. Her heart started to pound. She wasn't depressed that her dream guy turned out to be Charlie. In fact, her feelings for him hadn't faded at all. On the contrary, because Charlie had rescued her again today, he had become a real-life superhero in her eyes, the man who had saved her life twice. If it weren't for Charlie, she probably wouldn't have survived either of those attacks. That's why her feelings for him were suddenly so much stronger than what she'd felt for the mysterious stranger she'd imagined. Even though she knew falling for her best friend's husband was completely wrong, she also knew that Charlie and Claire weren't really husband and wife. Their marriage was just an arrangement made by Claire's grandfather, and they had no real emotional connection. She even remembered a conversation with Claire a few days ago. Claire had told her that she and Charlie weren't intimate at all, that they still slept separately. Claire got the bed, and Charlie slept on the floor. So, did this mean she could actually like Charlie and not feel guilty about betraying her best friend? Maybe. If she and Charlie got together, it would actually be a relief for Claire. Thinking about this, she turned to Charlie, a new joy. Didn't even touch you. I, Irvin Jones, am in complete awe. I'm practically groveling in reverence before you. You're like a god among men. And with that, Irvin dropped to his knees without a second thought. Charlie gave him a cool, unimpressed look and asked pointedly, "Hey, Irvin, why'd you take off running just now? Were you afraid I couldn't handle them?" "No!" Irvin's face went pale as he rushed to explain. "Mr. Wade, you've got it all wrong. How could I ever doubt your strength? I just got confused for a second, that's all. Please, don't hold it against me." After he finished speaking, Irvin practically knocked his head on the ground, his voice trembling as he said, "Mr. Wade, you are a true titan. From now on, I don't worship anyone or anything. I only worship you, Mr. Wade." Claire watched Irvin's pathetic display of sucking up and just shook her head. She turned to Charlie. "What do we do now? You killed both of them, the Oliver Vincent brothers. Should we call the police?" Charlie thought for a moment, then said calmly, "You guys get in the car first. I'll take care of this." Claire nodded and got into the car with Elsa and Irvin. Once they were all safely inside, Charlie pulled his phone from his pocket. He called Isaac Craven, the Wade family's representative in Orris Hill. The call connected almost immediately, and Isaac's respectful voice came through the line. "Mr. Wade?" Charlie said calmly, "I ran into the Oliver Vincent brothers. The two of them were making trouble for me. Now they're dead. Their bodies are on the side of the road. I don't want any loose ends. Send someone over right now and handle it." Hearing this, Isaac was shocked. "Mr. Wade, you took care of the Oliver Vincent brothers? My God, they're a notorious duo in Orris Hill. They're known for being cruel and ruthless, and their strength is legendary, even in East Cliff." Isaac couldn't help but say excitedly, "Mr. Wade, you're incredible. If the Wade family knew about your strength, it would cause a huge sensation." Charlie replied calmly, "It's enough that you know. Don't report this back to the Wade family, or I'll never forgive you." Isaac respected Charlie's orders and replied respectfully, "Of course, young master. I'll be tight-lipped. I'm sending someone to deal with it right now." Charlie gave a satisfied grunt, then hung up the phone and walked back to the car. Opening the car door, Charlie slid into the driver's seat and started the car calmly, as if the men he had just killed were nothing more than a couple of stray dogs. Elsa sat in the back seat, her beautiful eyes fixed on Charlie's profile. Her eyes shone with a new light, a mix of love and pure admiration.
Hey amazing viewers, it's Charlie here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 11% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 89% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.